Hey guys, Game10 Master Do here, and welcome to my next Let's Play. This is Advanced Wars Dual Strike. Come on, don't go back to the intro. Advanced Wars. Well, first of all, I've been waiting to do this for a while, aka for probably about 2 years now. This is a game that is turn-based. It's a strategy game, turn-based strategy, and it is one of my favorite games of all time. It first debuted on the DS around 2005. I think it was a opening title for the system, made by Intelligent Systems, who also did a lot of work on the Paper Mario series as well as Fire Emblem. For those of you who have played Fire Emblem, it's very, very similar. It's the same grid. It's a very similar strategy. It's exactly the same kind of turn-based engine that they used for Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. So yeah, this is the third game in the series, Advanced Wars Dual Strike. There was Advanced Wars for the Game Boy Advance, Advanced Wars 2, Advanced Wars Dual Strike, and then Advanced Wars Days of Ruin. And then there was a bunch of games that didn't release in North America or Europe. Famicom Wars, Super Famicom Wars, as it's known in Japan. Yeah, we're gonna go play through the campaign. First through normal mode and then through hard mode. There are huge differences between the two modes. Of course, hard mode being hard, and Advanced Wars has been known by players to be a very difficult game. Like, the normal mode, yeah, it's okay, it's fine. It helps you learn the game, and it presents a decent challenge for those who are new to the series or new to the game. But hard mode is a completely different story. It just challenges you up on a newer level. And Advanced Wars DS, its hard mode isn't super difficult, and from what I can tell from other people, because this game and Advanced Wars Days of Ruin are the only two games I've played in the series, but from what I can tell, Advanced Wars 2 had a really hard mode, and Advanced Wars 1 had an almost impossible hard mode where you had to explicitly manipulate the AI and the AI's faults in order to win the game, and that sounds pretty crappy to me. But yeah, we're going to be going through normal mode first, simply because normal mode has cutscenes. Well, it doesn't have cutscenes, it has text box cutscenes, where it tells a story and it shows all the characters talking to one another and it shows all the character interactions. And in hard mode, because you can choose any character you want, it wouldn't make sense for them to have these cutscenes in and still have the same context, so they completely remove them. So there are a lot of things in the hard mode campaign that jump around. The story just kind of goes here and there. It still follows the same linear path, but small details are omitted for the sake of choosing your own character. While in normal mode, you can only choose from a certain set of characters, but they haven't omitted in mission story tidbits. So we're gonna go through the first few missions here. This is mission 1, Jake's Trial. It is a tutorial mission. No, I do not want to read out any of the characters' dialogue. You can read it yourself, or you can pause the video to read it. 1, I am not good with voices. 2, other Let's Players have done voices or other Let's Players of this game have done voices for the characters, and I don't want to copy their style, and I just don't think it's right for me. So you can just please excuse me as I keep pressing the continue button while the text takes over the screen. This is Rachel and Nell. They're sisters. Nell was the tutorial woman in the last 2 games, as well as your guide when you needed to save or do something, or she was the overall announcer for when teams got defeated in versus mode and stuff. And in this game, she is getting Rachel, her little sister, to be the new commander of the Orange Star Army. Orange Star it's just kind of a vague little nation, not even a country of sorts. And the Japanese version is called a Red Star, and you could totally tell on a lot of the logos this game has, it's a red star. like it's totally a red star. It's not an orange star, but the dubbing team called it Orange Star because they didn't want anything to do with red stars and the Soviets and something like that or other. I don't completely understand it. Yeah, now it's introducing Jake, who's going to be our protagonist. Besides Rachel, for the majority of the story, he was replacing Andy from the previous games. Yeah, so now Rachel is in command from Nell's Word, and now she needs to teach Jake here, because Jake is a very brand new commanding officer in the Orange Star Army, and we need to go through a tutorial because the game expects us to be noobs at the series and the game. So yeah. Andy had a certain character in the past Advanced Wars games, from what I've seen from Let's Plays and the like. What would happen is that Andy was just dumb. He was dumb. He didn't know what he could do as his abilities as a commanding officer. He had no idea what a bomb was. Like the enemy strapped a bomb to themselves, and he says, "I'm gonna bomb the place," and Andy runs up to him. It's kind of dumb. Andy doesn't know what an airport is. That's a meme going around the Advanced Wars community. Mission 1, Jake's Trial. But yeah, Andy was a dumbass, and it's pretty funny. But in this game, the dubbing team had to try and do something, from what I've read, because in Japan, Jake's name was John, and he was supposed to be the stereotypical American guy, you know, cool, orange hair, headphones, that sort of thing. And he was really, really dull and really, really boring and really, really flat. So the dub team tried to give him character by giving him all this lingo. I can't even describe it as teenage lingo. I did not talk like that. Not even 2 years ago. I'm 20 right now. I did not talk like that when I was 18, 17, 16, 15. Who talks like this? It's not even... No DJ will talk like this. No rapper will talk like this. No rock star will talk like this. His entire theme is skewed because his music has rock, but then you can also hear disc scratching in the background. I mean, it's a pretty cool theme. It's not my favorite. There's a lot of great music in this game. Let's actually get to the gameplay first. He's telling us about infantry. Yeah. I've played this game so much that I know what to do. And this is purely for new players. I can explain it along the way if you never played Advanced Wars before, and you can watch by example. Basically, in this game, you need to capture cities for income, and with income you can create new units. So the only way you can do that, though, is by moving infantry units onto the cities and capturing them. It takes about 2 turns to capture a city unless the infantry is injured. Then, depending on how much HP the infantry has, it'll slowly be taking down the city. Each city has a total of 20 capture points, and the capture amount will be reduced by the amount of health points the infantry has. So if it's at full health, it'll only take 2 turns. If it's at 5 health, it'll take 4 turns, and so on and so forth. All units have a total of 10 hit points. This does not vary, but the defense value varies between each matchup. So now we have a tank. Tanks are super strong. They're your basic oh god, I need to turn animations off. Your basic vehicle unit. They go well up against any basic vehicle. They do well against tanks. Tanks against tanks are normally pretty well. The tank that attacks first will always win unless it's of a lower hit points. You see, I did 5 damage to the enemy tank, and then the enemy tank counterattacked and it did 8 hit points of damage. I'm gonna be turning off. Actually, no. I'll keep animations on for the first few missions because they're cool and they're interesting. But after you play this game for a long amount of time, you just want to play the game and not have to watch the animations, because you know when you move a unit and when you attack, you already know how much damage they're gonna do by default. This is a mech. It's the same as if normal infantry. It can capture cities, except it has one less movement, so it's really slow. It's the second slowest unit in the game, but can also attack tanks. These things are a defensive powerhouse, and they're very cost effective. So when I'm attacking, it says damage 55%. That doesn't mean the percentage of chance you are to hit the enemy. It means how much damage you're doing to the tank in terms of percent. I said all units have 10 health. That's technically not true. They have 100, but depending on how much health they have left in terms of percentage, the number is rounded up or down. And then, so from this screen, I know I'm going to do 55% damage, even though the tank has 5 health left. That means I'll kill the tank no matter what. And there's a little bit of luck involved. The game rolls a random number between 1 and 5 and adds that to your percent. So if you're attacking a unit that has 1 hit point and you can only do 4% damage to it, if you get a good roll, it'll turn that 4% into 9% and kill the 1 hit point unit. Let's attack this tank. Good. Yeah. When you're out of units, you have to go end your turn. Let's end. Now she moves. Usually, the first person to attack first wins the battle. Blah 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 blah. Yes, we know. So now that Rachel has lost her tank, she has no way in winning this. This is just basically a way for the player to sweep up the rest of the match. I could be attacking the infantry. I don't need to capture the city. I don't have any factories, so I can't produce any more units. So I'm going to go ahead and attack this infantry with my infantry from the city. Different types of terrain have different defense bonuses. So the city, if you look at the bottom right corner, has 3 stars. That's defense rating. It gives me 30% extra defense from attacking from the city. So that's why I wanted to attack with the infantry first, because the enemy is sitting on a woods plain, or a woods tile, which has 2 stars of defense, 20% defense. And this tile is a road, which has 0% defense, so if I was attacking with my mech from the road, I would take the full brunt of his counterattack. Now, of course, mechs are stronger than infantry just by a little bit. They're not completely one the same in terms of attack strength, but I still think this is a more cost-effective trade. I could be wrong though. I mean, I didn't really do math. I just did guesswork and a trial based on experience. I'm gonna attack with my tank again from the plains, because my tank won't take any damage. Infantry do nothing to tanks. And with my mech. You can see all the unit information on the upper screen. Normally on the DS it would literally be on the upper screen, but in this case, because I have to do a certain setup with my recording, the upper screen is the upper left screen in this case, and the bottom screen is the bottom right screen. It shows you everything you need to know about unit information. It shows what unit you've selected, if you've selected a unit. It shows what they look like, how quickly they move, what type of movement they have, how much vision they have in Fog of War. Fog of War does exist in this game. Fuel, which is the amount your unit can move before it can't move anymore straight up. How much ammo it has, what types of weapons it has, and what it can attack. So the mech here, as you can see at the upper left corner, has a bazooka with 3 ammo, and it can attack vehicles with that bazooka. And then a secondary weapon can attack infantry, different types of vehicles when it runs out of its when it runs out of bazooka ammo, it will use its machine gun instead, which has unlimited ammo, and it'll also attack choppers with its machine gun. I'll get into more detail of the upper screen in the next mission. You get perfect score. There's no way to flub that mission. The only way to flub that mission is if you screw around a lot, let your infantry die and just run around with your tank until it runs out of fuel. And if it runs out of fuel, Rachel gets super pissed off at you. I'll tell you what, she gets so mad at you. It's quite hilarious. She tells you to clean her room. You're on cleaning duty, cleaning her room for some reason. I'm not sure if she has the authority to do that. Maybe in the military. I don't know. It's quite humiliating, but Nell would yell at Andy in the same fashion in previous games if you're on a tutorial mission and you screw around until you run out of fuel and no enemy or no side can progress. I'm just gonna save here.